Good evening. Welcome to Tuesday Talks. This is Greasy Creek Gal. Um, it's been a busy day. The latest news for me is I resigned my position. I've been with the company for 13 years, and I resigned my position and gave them the required 30-day notice. And they came in Friday and said, "Hey, you don't have to work out your notice." So I'm off a week before my new job starts. So I called my new job and I get to start there on the 18th. So life is good. And I felt like this job was the last of the old that I needed to get rid of. And it wasn't an easy decision to make because I have been there 13 years. And I work with some wonderful people, some great girls, guys, and we have good relationships and stuff. And so it was hard um, making that decision because I won't get to work with them anymore, but I'll still be able to stay in touch. So Friday, the upper management decided, since I am upper management as the director of the office, that I didn't need to work out my notice. So I went in this past weekend and packed up my stuff. So today I spent today going through my things and trying to put those things away and stuff. Because you can imagine 13 years in the office, that was quite a bit of stuff. Excuse me, my eye's itching. So when I turned in my notice, I actually turned in my notice the January 2nd and gave them 30 days because that's what's required for someone in my position. And I just felt like this huge weight, this huge burden just lifted off of me, and all the spiritual warfare that goes with it. And I just felt free. And and it just makes you wonder that sometimes when you stay in places, you kind of get complacent, or you get to stay mindset and you get used to it and you decide to stay. And I know over the last 6 years I've been through a lot. And I've been through 2 divorces, I've empty nest, lost my mom, lost my granny, and just a gamut of different things happening all the time. And so the last 3 or 4 months of this last year, I've been working through letting go and just kind of shedding uh, all those past hurts, wounds, past issues and all that, and just doing a lot of self-analysis and self-examination and letting that go. And I kind of felt like that the job was one of those things that I needed to let go, and that was the last of the old. And when I resigned that position, before I resigned, I prayed and I asked God. And I encourage you all, if y'all are thinking about changing jobs or making big changes, you need to pray and ask God. And I always pray, God, if it's your will, open the door. If it's not, nail it shut. Don't let it happen. Very simple. But in this particular situation, I had two asks. I asked God for two specific things in this job that I wanted. And I said, if this is meant to be, then these are the two things that I've got to have in order to make this move. So the first interview I had was a phone interview. And in the phone interview, I got my first ask. And I knew then that this was God opening the door and this was the right move for me. The second interview went really well, and I had an offer that day. And I countered because my second ask had to do with salary. And I already knew the range, the minimum that I would take. And I actually countered their offer so that way I would have what I wanted, my second ask. And they called me back that Tuesday and said, okay. So I got my two asks, and I know that this is the right move for me because God He opened the door, and I got what I asked for, and I know that I'm in His will. And to me, if I'm in God's will, it's going to be a wonderful experience. But I walk, and right now, this new year, I'm pretty much walking into it baggage free because there's nothing old left. I have shucked off all the layers, shedded a lot of stuff, let go of a lot of the all the old stuff, and the last piece of the old me was this job. And when I resigned my position on January 2nd, it was just like this huge weight was, and this burden was just gone. It was my steps a little lighter, and the stress, it's amazing. And I don't think people can understand until they're in that position and they don't understand how you feel. And then Friday, they came in and said, "Hey, Pat, you don't have to work out your notice. We're going to pay you your PTO and all this and that." And so Friday was my last day instead of February 2nd, because in my position, I have to give 30 days. So, I told him, I said, "It's all good." I was a little disappointed because I hadn't got to say goodbye to a lot of people because I thought I would have 30 days, but upper management decided it was best to just let me go and not stay. I guess they was afraid I was going to say or do something. Who knows? But, not my decision. So, but either way, I have a week off before I start my new job. So I'm going to enjoy it, and that's all there is to it. But I just feel like I'm amazed at how carefree I am. And walking into this new year, it's like I'm not rebuilding anything, I'm building new. And it's like this huge reset in my life. I've got a new job, new outlook, and all the old stuff's gone. And I'm building a new life. And to me, that's pretty amazing. And and I know that this year, all the things that I prayed for, I know that God's going to exceed those requests. And it's just going to be amazing. And I think my life, next year's, the rest of my life, hopefully, but definitely this next year, I think it's going to be full of God's wow moments. And I think that's pretty amazing. That's what I feel in my spirit. And I know that there's people out there who have been hit with one hard thing after another. I mean, it's just crazy. I could sit down and probably write a book on the last 6 years of all the different crazy things that's happened in my life. And it's just like bam, bam, bam. It's always something. And to the point where, you get tired and you want to give up. But, being a Greasy Creek gal, you don't roll over and die. You just get up, pull up your bootstraps, and you go on. So that's how we are. And but everything is happening really fast. From the interview to the job, to getting the job, to getting the 2 asks that I prayed about, God opening the door, making a way, starting early at the new job. It's just like everything is just lining up, perfect, just in perfect order. Everything's just falling in as planned. I have goals set for this year, and those are going to be just lined up, and I can see those coming into play, which is pretty awesome. So I encourage you, if you're still holding on to some old hurts and some past wounds, some old ways of doing things, that old mindset, I encourage you to start doing some self-examination and letting that stuff go. Because this new year, you can't bring the old into it. You really can't. Because anything that you're holding on to that's from your old life, the old hurts and stuff, that's going to hinder your growth and your progress this new year. You have to let all that go. And so this year, the only baggage I'm carrying into this year is empty. So I can carry all the miracle signs and wonders and blessings that God's going to give me this year. So that's it. I'm carrying empty bags because I'm expecting some amazing God moments. And so I'm really excited about this new year. I'm excited about my new job. And, and my kids are doing wonderful. Today is my daughter's 26th birthday. And she's actually in Texas with her job training people this week. So Travis is doing good in the Army. He got accepted into the flight crew, which is something that he wanted. So, I talked to him yesterday and he got accepted into that. So that's wonderful news. And, everyone's just, doing great. My family's doing wonderful. My brother and his wife are doing great. My sister, her family are doing great. And it's nice to see people walking in blessings, because it's been a rough couple of years for all of us, and so when you wake up and you're going into a new year and you see all these beautiful things going on and everybody else being blessed, it's just amazing, and you're like, you thank you, Jesus. And so I just hope you all take the time, and if you're looking at changing jobs, if you're looking at doing some major lifestyle changes, moving, or anything like that, you need to pray about it. Pray for God's will. And in His time, that door will open. And the reason I say that is because back in July, I think it was, I was going through my second divorce and I had an opportunity to change jobs and I didn't. I had so much on my plate that mentally I probably wouldn't have been able to handle a new job. As far as home health, I know home health like the back of my hand, but when you get into a new company and a new area, they have their own ways of doing things. So you have to learn their policies, their procedures, and their way of doing things. And then if you go to a larger office, then it's a lot busier. So I knew at that time the move was not right for me because I wasn't in the right mindset because I still had stuff I had to deal with and work through. So taking on the added stress of changing jobs, that would have probably been the straw that broke the camel's back. But now that I've worked through all my mess and able to move forward, I'm very confident in the decision that I made, and I'm very confident in walking in God's will. I know this is what He has for me because He opened the door. The 2 asks that I had was met without any issues. I mean, it's just there. So I encourage you to sit down and write down what you want. Me and my daughter in December, it was before Christmas, we sat down and made a list of the things that we wanted to have happen this new year. And I pulled out my list the other day and went through it. And at the top of the list was a new job. So here we are. And I'm hoping to cross off a lot of those things on that list this new year. And it's just going to be wonderful. And, just walk in faith. Faith requires action. I mean, we can believe all day long, but if we don't take the first step, what does it matter? So, faith requires action. Take that first step. You can pray. You can apply for every job that's available. And you pray over every one of them and just say, God, if it's your will, open the door. If not, nail it shut. And if you have specific needs, you need to say, God, if this is your will for me to take this job, I need X, Y, and Z, whatever that X, Y, and Z is. And if it is His will, everything will work out. I'm a firm believer in everything will work out in His time. Just like in June or July, it was time for me to change jobs because I had all these other things going on that I had to deal with. So, but now that I've dealt with all these things, and the only thing left of the old me was my job. So that is now gone. So, a big part of who I am was me being the director at Care Tenders. So for me to let that go is, that's a big decision. But I know with God opening the door for this new job and the 2 asks that I requested, I received, I know that it's going to be wonderful. It really is. So I'm excited. So in that, just keep on keeping on. And, remember there's a silver lining in everything. Walk in faith. Take that first step. Pray about everything. If you haven't dealt with the old stuff, start dealing with it. Get rid of that stuff. Don't bring that into this new year, because if you're still carrying the old stuff, you're not going to have room for the new. And I think that's the key, is in order to grab hold and walk in the newness of what God has for us, we have to let go of the old. And I was talking to a good friend of mine, and she said, Pat, you're just going to have to get rid of some stuff. And I said, girl, if I get rid of anything, there ain't nothing else to get rid of. I've done let go of a lot of stuff, shucked off a bunch of stuff, and I said, there's nothing left to get rid of. And that's a good feeling, to be in this place where you pretty much, I have a clean slate. I have a clean canvas ready to be painted with the blessings of God for this new year. Because everything old is gone. Everything old is gone and dealt with. So starting on the 18th, when I start my new job, and and praying and living my life, my life's a blank canvas, and I have a clean slate. And it's like God just pressed the reset button on my life and said, okay, Pat, here we go. We're going to build something new. And that's where I am today, and that's where I am this weekend, is okay, God, we're building something new, and I can't wait to see how wonderful this is going to be, because I know it's going to be wow moments. And it's not going to just be one big wow. It's going to be so many little wows that I'm just going to be totally amazed. And so I look forward to sharing those with you. I'll be writing about those on the Greasy Creek Gal page. And it's just, I'm excited. I really am. And I can't wait to see how God orchestrates all the things that He's going to orchestrate in my life. And, because when God says, hey, we're resetting your life and we're going to build something new, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. And I hope you guys have a blessed week. And stay tuned, and I will talk to you next Tuesday. And I wish you the best. And just remember that this is going to be our best year yet. That's what God keeps putting in my spirit. He's like, Pat, this is going to be your best year yet. And I'm just so excited. It's like a kid at Christmas. How you were excited about Santa coming, and you can't sleep, and you're like, oh, all that excitement. I guess the best analogy for me is the excitement of snow, because anybody that knows me knows I love snow. When those flurries start flying, I'm like a little girl. And I just love it. And that's kind of me. I'm kind of giddy with the expectations. And because I just know God's going to deliver. God never goes back on His word. It's going to be an epic year. It's going to be an amazing year. It's going to be full of God's wow moments. And I think there's things that's going to happen so fast. It's going to be like, God, God has to be in this, because it's just happening so fast. And it's just, I'm excited, and I hope you are too, because this word just isn't for me. It's for everybody. God is moving in everybody's life, especially those that's been through a lot of hardships over the last couple years. That's been hit time and time again, and they've remained faithful and true. God's really going to move in your life. The only thing that you got to do is let go of all the old. let go of the old ways, let go of the old baggage, get those suitcases unpacked, get them emptied, and so that way you can walk into the blessings that are coming your way. But that's the key. You got to empty those suitcases. You can't enter in carrying baggage from yesteryear. So I wish you the best, and hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys next week.